assessment so far? What do you think?
Well, day 5, it's been really good. We got faculty day tonight, so we got a lot of faculty out here, so looking forward to that. But it's been really good. We've stayed relatively healthy, which has been good. Today was kind of the first 5 days in, so it's good to see that. We had a lot of competition, a lot of great energy. I love how the staff is settled in, and it's been good. We're getting done and we need to get done.
Coach, you look like Troy Stellato and Bringstool wearing yellow. What's their status?
Troy's been out since the first day. He pulled his hamstring. Brenny will be fine. He's got a little hip corner. Hopefully he'll be ready to go by Friday.
Speaking of receivers, what's your assessment of Adam Randle so far?
It's been excellent. He just naturally does some things. First of all, physically, you could put him in an NFL locker room, he'd fit right in. But then you realize he's just a young player. And so, man, he made a couple of plays today that were special, but just some little things, as far as just some technique and some release technique. And, just a lot coming at him with 5 days of installation, but he's exactly what we hoped he'd be. He's going to be a great one.
On DJ, what have you seen so far at DJ this camp?
Man, he's been great. Today was probably as good a practice as he's ever had at Clemson. He was 16 of 18 today. Just really, just kind of picked up where he left off. I thought he finished well from a confidence standpoint. He just looks great. And the guys are doing a good job around him as well. Made some really good plays today. He's been excellent.
Coach, it looks like Cade's new put on some muscle already. Where's he cerebrally compared to Trevor, Deshaun, DJ, picking up the playbook?
Rinse and repeat. Same type of deal. Very, very short. Very short. He's getting a ton of work with the twos, and he's really responded well. He's just a natural. He's same thing. He's everything we thought he was. Has put on some weight since he got here already, bulked up. He's 180 something, upper 80s, close to 190. And, he'll easily probably be at 200 plus by the time we get to August. Very similar to Deshaun. I guess if you took a picture of Deshaun Watson in January when he got here and you put them side by side, they're like clones. Body types, you name it. Weight, the whole deal, kind of where their starting point is. So excited about where he is and how he's responded. It's been really good. We got that room is gotten healthy quick. We're in a much better spot than we were this time last year. Proud of Billy Wiles, man. He's a really good player. Hunter Helms, and then we got Hunter Johnson, still coming. So it's we're still got a good situation there.
Guy that kind of took me by surprise the other day, Robert Newhouse, Dominique Thomas. Can you talk about his journey here and what you've seen out of him?
Yeah, he's a great kid. We're really glad he's here. He's just one of those guys that had a dream and is chasing his dream. And actually met him last year. He's just sat out and trained in the fall and hopes of getting into Clemson and coming and walking on here and again chasing his dream. Unbelievable story. Great kid. But, I think he was like the freshman of the year up there. College, Union College, I think what he was. But tragic situation. Growing up in Alabama, we had a lot of tornadoes. And, it gets real when you experience. I've lived through a bunch of them and seen the devastation that comes from it. He lost his mom, his grandmother, grandfather, his sister survived. Just a really tragic situation. So we're really thankful to have him. It's nice to have a guy like that with some depth. That has played some college ball, and he's a load, man. I mean, he, as you would expect. He's got good instincts for the game. So, we'll get Keith in here this summer, and we've got 4 guys on scholarship. We usually got to keep 5, but with the addition of Dominique, I think he can be a good guy for us to give us some depth there. Tristan Rigby's a great little walk-on as well. He's tough as nails, and Kevin McNeil. So we got a good little group in there. Wise Seegers does a good job. So we got some guys, but obviously, Moffa is the man this spring, and he's really handled that well. He's looked very, very good. Really pleased with how he has stepped into that role, and it's going to be great for him because, like I said, he was the one guy that never really got a chance to kind of be the guy, and so with what he's getting exposed to this spring, I just think it's going to really serve us well when we get Kobe and Chip back. Got a chance to have a really special group.
When you promote with your coordinators with Brandon and Wes, is there as much install going on this spring as opposed to bringing in 2 new guys from outside, bringing in different systems?
It's similar. We're similar offensively, and defensively. We very similar. They both kind of put their stamp on it, their twist on it, but not too much different from an install standpoint. We've tweaked some things, and that's maybe slowed us down just a little bit because of some of the changes that we've made with the terminology and stuff like that. But pretty standard.
Coach, how's Putnam working out at center, particularly with the snaps?
He's doing great. In fact, I just told the team that I only noticed him one time today, and that is a great thing. He had one bad snap. And again, this guy's never snapped. And now all of a sudden you get into it's one thing to be in shorts, thud practice. It's another thing when you're going live and you're running outside zone. You got to snap, you got to climb and step. I mean, it's a different animal, and he's really doing a good job. Really proud of him. But again, he had one low snap all day, and I think he had 30 reps live. So he's really doing a good job. He's worked hard at it, which doesn't shock me. That's just how he's wired. That's his DNA. I mean, he's convinced of something. He's gonna be to the extreme of it. So again, as he's reclassified, so he's just gonna be a junior. He's played a lot of football. So that's been really, really good. And Trent Howard's done a nice job. I'm pleased with where he is, and Lintham's still coming. So we're developing the type of depth there that we need.
What do you want to see from Linthicum this spring?
Just play fast, play confident. Take a big step from a knowledge standpoint. I mean, that's really it. Just become have a little bit more of a sense of urgency to him. The game is fast, so just see the game slow down a little bit. He's doing a good job. Physical kid. Really got he and Tristan. I'm super proud of Tristan Lee. That's a big shot in the arm for us right now because he was just okay. It's gonna take a year on this one when he got here, and then you got to hope that they're willing to do what it takes. Because sometimes kids don't have a lot of self-awareness, and thankfully he's wired the right way. He's a grinder. He has worked his tail off. I mean, that kid's gotten stronger, and the game has slowed down. He's as improved a player as we have on this team, and so I'm super excited about what he's done since the summer. He's playing faster, playing more confident. The game, like I said, the game slowed down. Now he's playing more physical, and just really doing a good job. So he redshirted he and Linthicum, and we're both of them high-level talents, so they're trending in the right direction.
On the other side
And
of the
then
ball,
the 2 freshmen that just got here, same thing. Colin and Blake, they're both further along by far than where those 2 guys were. From a foundational standpoint, technical standpoint, and a strength standpoint. Really strong kids.
on the other side of the ball, Peyton Page.
Yeah.
Where's he at this
He's
year?
making a move. He's making a move. I don't know if y'all talked to Nick yet.
Yep.
Nick probably bragged on him. He's really made some strides. He's gotten his body in a great spot. He's playing fast. He's playing with great technique. I mean, he shows up every day. That whole group, you just can't help but notice them. And it's been really good because we've been able to really kind of control the reps. We've got a lot of veteran guys, and really those 4 DNs kind of all just working with the ones because we really need to get Cade, Zaire, Swint, all that work with the 2s, getting Armand some work as well, and then inside same thing. Tyler and Luke have played a lot of ball, and they're getting what they need. But, man, it's been awesome to see Peyton Page and to see Cape Hart coming on, and E.T., how he finished last year. I mean, we're really developing the type of championship depth that you have to
With all the coaching changes this year, what challenges and opportunities have you come across?
with all the coaching changes.
Yeah,
I mean, the challenges are, you've got to put it all together. You can't just pick up where you left off, because everybody's all on the same page. So that's always a challenge. That's a good challenge, though, when you get a job open. And, making the right decisions that come with getting your personnel in order from a staffing standpoint, and then coaching the coaches. Now there's a lot. I mean, like, okay, how do we run practice? Where do we go? What's the expectations? I mean, so just a little bit more stuff like that you have to do, as opposed to you don't have a lot of transition. That's probably it. Getting everybody resettled from a recruiting standpoint. Everybody got areas and things like that. So getting everybody on the same page is probably the biggest challenge. But it's been good. It's been great.
Back to Rook Aurora. When you signed him, you said the same thing about Tristan Lee, that he was one of those guys that just had to find his way.
Yeah.
Have you seen a guy advance that fast in the defensive line like he has?
Well, when we recruited he and E.T., they came in together, and they were both. It's weird because they're both Nigerian kids, and neither one of them played football until their junior year in high school. It was kind of unusual. Rook was a basketball guy. E.T.'s a big-time soccer player. And all of a sudden, they'd start to play football. And so they were incredibly athletic and just kind of got on everybody's radar late. And where we were in that recruiting cycle, we could take a real true developmental guy. And so, high potential, a lot of work to do. And when they showed up here that January, I mean, they were, same thing, long way to go, but we didn't really need them. At the time, we could be patient with those guys, and we knew that it could potentially be a really high reward if they would work. And both of them have just blossomed. I mean, just blossomed. And they've both been eager to learn, and so now just schematically, technically, fundamentally, situationally, they're just different than what they were when they got here. They've really developed well and can play for anybody. So I'm excited about what Rook's done, and he's one of those guys. I think he could have a decision after this year whether he leaves or stays or whatever. And I think E.T. probably stay another year after that. But both of them have really panned out well for us.
How do things look at corner, and is Fred back?
Yeah, Fred's back. We still got him in green. Just still not letting him tackle full speed. He's doing some tackling drills, but we're not letting him tackle full speed yet. But he's doing everything else. All the team separate, the skelly and team pass and all that. Just no contact, not full live. Still a little bit of soreness working through that, but he's going to be fine. Sheridan had a great day today. I'm really proud of him. He's playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger. Again, has developed and stayed the course and put the work in, and he's done a nice job. Nate Wiggins, Nate is just talent-wise, he's as good as we've signed here, and we're still kind of polishing him up, but he is a really good football player, and so I really like where we are right there with that group. Obviously, we don't have Malcolm out here right now, but Toriano is as advertised. Jaden Lucas, same thing. We've seen enough out of him right out of the gate to just both those kids are going to be able to help us. Jaden will probably have to do a little surgery on him. We'll probably let him go almost till probably spring break so he can get just some good work right now, foundationally, and then we'll probably clean him up a little bit. He's got a little shoulder thing we'll clean up, and so he's 100% ready to go when we crank it up. So, but those guys, it's a really talented group, really talented group. Obviously, we got Miles coming in here. Makuba's played some corner as well and could go play corner for us. So we're in a better spot than we were this time last year, and all the way around.
You mentioned the day DJ had. What specifically impressed you about what he did today?
16 to 18, made great decisions, took care of the ball, no turnovers, created a couple of big plays, and just has a great command of what he's doing.
Have you seen a difference in terms of his weight being down to 240, being more mobile?
Yeah, I mean he's always been athletic, but he just there's no question he's just moving a little bit better. I mean, he's never going to be a 4-5 guy, but we don't need him to be. We just need him to be the best version of himself, and it's just part of the maturation process as these kids come to college, learning, what their ideal composition needs to be, and then really buying into that and staying committed to that. And so he's done an awesome job. And it just becomes a lifestyle, is really, because their body's their greatest asset, and it creates an edge for you in performance, if you really do a good job with your body, and it takes commitment. So he's definitely. I mean, he looks great, and again, the biggest thing is just confident. I think his experience last year shows. He's a great leader, and again, the guys around him are doing a great job.
How do things look at right guard right now?
Good. We're mixing things up there. We've been. J Mack didn't go today. We held him out, but just mixing things up, moving some guys around. Mitchell's been in there a good bit. Tucker's been in there some. So we got a good group. Feel good about what they're doing. The Olympico and Trent both play guard as well. So in a good spot. Dietrich is a guy that we think is going to, probably when it's all said and done, be a huge factor in there. And again, he's not going live, but he's getting a lot of the team stuff. And then Big John Williams is making a move. He got some reps with the ones today, and did a good job.
Go ahead.
Is Taekwon back this spring?
No, he's graduated.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gone.
Coach, how's Aiden Hamlin being the guy at punter?
Fine. He's doing fine. I mean, the guy that right now is standing out is BT Potter. He's trying to be Gardaki, I guess. He wants to compete, and man, he's been really good. Aiden's been good too. Jack, as you would expect, high school senior. It's always that way. I don't know why, but it's always that way. When these kickers and punters, when they show up early on, they're all a little, whether it's Pinion or whoever. BT, he couldn't kick it in the ocean when he first started. Just a change and all that stuff, and just a little different deal. So Jack's going to be a good one, and we got to get back outside so we can get into some competitive work. We'll get into a little bit of that in front of some people, and when we get over in the stadium. So I look forward to that with our punters. That's always fun. But BT's been amazing with his kicks. I mean, amazing. How he's hitting the ball right now. Really proud of him. But he's punting the ball very well, and so that's been kind of a pleasant surprise this spring. And Aiden's doing a nice job too.
On safeties, how's Landon coming along? And then Sherrod Colville, how you think what you've seen so
Yeah,
far?
Landon's coming. I mean, he's just same thing. We're protecting him. He's getting a lot of work. He's getting all the scale, team pass, and separate. But we're not letting him go live. But he looks great. His body's in a good spot. I like what he looks like. All those guys. Jalen, his grandfather's. He's got to go home for a funeral, so he's going to be gone. Friday and Saturday. Funeral's going to be on Friday, and his grandfather passed. So he's had a good spring for us. Makuba is Makuba and dynamic and do a lot of things. T-Bone's not out there right now. He's off the labrum surgery in his hip, but he's rehabbing well. So I mean, we got a really good group of guys. But Land is he looks like his old self as far as how he's moving, and just being cautious with him and make sure he's really no setbacks in spring with him.
Is it like to have healthy receivers? And
Oh my gosh!
Brandon Spector looks like he's moving well, and Adam Randle,
unbelievable,
impressive too.
Yeah, I mean we're going to have 10 on scholarship. It's been a long time since we've had 10 on scholarship that we signed, and so So I'm really excited. We don't have EJ out there. He's obviously just came off the scope. We don't have Will Taylor out there. We don't have Antonio, and we don't have Cole Turner. So all those guys will join us this summer. But man, what we've got it's been really, really fun. Spec looks great. I mean, you forget how fast he is, how explosive he is, big, strong. We're doing a good job of creating depth and cross-training guys where you can. That's been really good. Bo looks great. Dakari, I mean, the experience that those two guys had was great. But, I feel like I say this every year, but the guy that you just, I'm almost afraid to say anything is Ngata. He's been unbelievable. I mean, he just looks like a pro. He's practicing like a pro. He's making plays like a pro. I mean, he just looks amazing. And so, again, hopefully it'll be that way when we get there in the fall, because if it is, he's so talented, and it's really these last 2 years have just been really difficult, and so it's a lot of fun to really see him. He's got a smile on his face. He's got a great energy to him, and he's got this sense of urgency that I love. He's been outstanding. All those guys have. I mean, and we got 2 or 3 walk-on guys that can play. I mean, we got a really good group. So we went from very little depth to enormous amount right now. We still got 4 guys that are out, but we're in the best shape we've been in a while. They're making plays. They're just playing with a lot of confidence. So, obviously Davis and Sage are out. And unfortunately, Brady wasn't able to go today, but the work he's getting this spring is going to really, really be beneficial to him.
Coach, on Monday we saw 40 or 50 guys here just trying to make the scout team. Do you actually find guys like that?
Oh man, heck yeah! Greg Hugel came through a tryout, national championship kicker. I didn't know who the heck he was. A tryout right here. We've had a bunch of those guys. Phibbs, our starting snapper, is a tryout guy. We've had several over the years. So that's why we do that. We do a tryout every fall and spring. Sometimes we have 1 spot. Sometimes we have 2. Sometimes we have none. So we'll build a little inventory, of guys that we feel like, because sometimes you may have a spot come up in the middle of the season. And you go to the bullpen. So we build an inventory. We track them, and we've got several kids on the team right now. We got a couple of linemen that came through the tryout process. Dominique came to our tryout in the fall, even though he couldn't do it. He came to so we know who he was and all this stuff. But yeah, we've had several.
Some of these guys have been here 5 or 6 times. They said, "What does that tell you about their dreams?"
Oh, you love it. That's what it takes. You got to be willing to keep moving and not give up on it. Even if you never get the opportunity, you can look in the mirror and know that you did everything you could within your power. And there's nothing wrong with striving, for something that you dream about and believe in. And even if it doesn't happen, the process of that makes you better.
Who are the players in this year's squad that are stepping up and taking leadership roles that you've seen that weren't there last year as a leader?
It's unbelievable leadership on this team. I mean, right out of the gate, just sometimes that takes a little while to kind of come together, chemistry, leadership. But this team has really been from day one. But we got a lot of veterans. We got a lot of guys that have played a lot of ball. We have 37 guys that have started a game. That's a lot of football. That's a lot of guys, and that doesn't even. Then we got another 13 guys that have been starters on special teams. So just a bunch of guys that have been there, done that. Starting with the guys up front. There's some grown men up front that have a ton of experience. That's where it starts. Same thing on the offensive line. With J Mack and Putnam. Those guys have played a lot of football. Walker Parks. I mean, he's as natural a leader as you're ever going to come around. And then, all those guys that got great experience last year that are just natural leaders like Bo, like Shipley, like Maffa, like Kobe. I mean, these are, Brenny. I mean, they're all just natural leaders. So, I mean, we've got that all across the board. We really do. Sheridan has provided great leadership for us in the corner. Jalen and Makuba, those guys there in the safety. I mean, just every position. Trent Simpson has been excellent. McGuire and Monte. I mean, really have it everywhere. BT, DJ, and as I always say, you don't have to wait to be a senior to be a leader. Those 9 mid-years that got here, they're all great kids, and coming on. Koval, you asked about him earlier. He's finding his way. There's a lot going on back there. He's going to be a great player. He and Toriano, man, we hit it out of the park. Him, Toriano, and Jade, those 3 mid-year DBs that are here. Excited about them. So they're all good leaders.
Would you rather have different guys handling the kicking and punting, or do you have a preference?
I just want the best guy, whoever gets the results. Ideally, yeah, I'd love to have a guy that's all he does. But he didn't have any problems out here. He's punting every day, kicking every day. So just want the guy to get the job done most consistently.
You mentioned Bo and
sorry. Go ahead.
so you mentioned Bo and Dakari. What do you want to see from them in year 2 to kind of take that next step?
Yeah, well, Bo was ahead last year right out of the gate. I mean, he's one of the. I mean, this kid was ready to play the day he got here. Dakari, had a little more blossoming to do and really finished well and came on, at the end of the year. So just being detailed, becoming a little more, technically advanced in their route running and the break points and influencing what they're doing and just understanding defense a little bit better. You got to understand defense to be a great route runner. And so, be a little more consistent finisher. Dakari, I think there's some balls he can finish on a little better. But both of them just continue to be who they are. They're both great. They're on their way. So just continue to grind and show up every day with that hunger.
Who's your best Mike linebacker so far?
I mean, I don't know. I think, we got a lot of competition there. So I think if we played today, you'd see probably 50-50 in reps, which is good. I mean, we got guys that can play. And we got guys that can cross-train. Monte can play Mike and Will. McGuire can play Mike and Will. Trotter can play Mike and Will. Really locking in with Trenton at the wheel right now, really getting him a great foundation. So, I mean, those guys are, you're going to see, no matter who runs out there first this year, I mean, we've got a really good group. You're going to have guys that probably more than any other year, you're going to see a lot of playing time with that linebacker group because it's very similar to our DN situation. You're going to have you got some dudes. And it's going to be fun to see that competition and then see the performance on game day, and you go from there. But I'm confident in any of those guys to say, hey, this guy's the best guy right now. I'm not ready to say that.
Who are all the guys playing at Sam?
Start with Barrett. Barrett would start there, and then he and Maloney are kind of the two, I guess, hybrid guys. And Matthew Maloney's a good little player. Everybody probably knows who he is, but he's played some special teams for us last year, but he can help us. But Barrett, it starts there, and eventually Barrett will be an inside guy. He can play anywhere. That guy can play anywhere, literally. He could go probably start at safety for us. I mean, he's that athletic. He's that fast. He's a savvy player, and then more of our nickel guys. Training up some guys there at the nickel spot. True corner type guys in that role.
Green going to come back and play a role?
Your 3 linebackers can be?
Probably. We're going to be really fast and very athletic at linebacker. Really, really fast and athletic. And when it's all said and done, I think an incredibly knowledgeable group. Trotter's he's special. He's coming along. He's making great progress. McGuire's been here a while. Monte's been here. These guys have been around. Trenton is a third-year player. So, yeah, we will be very fast and athletic. And with the guys we have up front, hopefully that's going to make their life a little easier.
Malcolm also going to play a little bit of nickel.
Yep, he will when he gets back. Yeah, he'll play corner and nickel. And Makuba, he's playing a little bit of everything. Tyler Venimals, he's a jack of all trades. Can do a little bit of everything once we get him back. And then same thing. We've got a couple of those corners that can slide in there and give us a true corner guy too. So we've got a lot of options, probably more than we've had in a while.
Coach, you made the baseball analogy. Have you been able to make your way over to Doug Kingsmore yet? And what do you think about this?
Yeah, I got to go to the softball game the other day, and I think I'm throwing out the pitch this Sunday. And I've never seen a first do like you underhand, just throw it out there, or you throw it like that. Softball.
You got to go under.
It's underhand.
Am I going underhand? So I just throw it out.
You gotta do it fast pitch, underhand, coach. You can't
Well, I'm
go
not doing the
lob.
rocking and all
No
that.
lob.
I'll
No-
just
no
lob it up
soft
there.
pitch.
You ought to get with Valerie and take a class.
Yeah.
You just gotta wind up.
I did take some BP over there.
Get
It was
Pete
fun.
Townsend going.
I mean, I'm doing that Sunday, but I haven't seen baseball yet. But man, what a start! I mean, awesome. I sent Monty a couple of emojis the other day, congratulating him on a great start. Unbelievable. That's about as good a start as we've ever had, right?
First
Let's
time
do
in
it.
20 years.
There you go. And just, obviously you beat your in-state rival there. All three was great. So really proud of those guys. Softball, that was two great teams. Wow. Those pitchers, unbelievable watching that on Sunday. Proud of Brad. Man, that's 5 in a row. I mean, super excited about that. Got to see Terry Don Phillips today. Noonan came over and we took 2 football national championship trophies in the soccer because Terry Don hired me and he hired Noonan. So we took a great picture with Terry Don, so it was good to see him today. So man, it's good. It's a great time to be a Tiger. A lot of good things going on.
Take 1 or 2 more.
Coach, I saw that Hunter Renfroe was back in Clemson. Has he reached out to visit with you or come
Yeah,
see
he's
practice
staying
at
in my
all?
basement. Yeah, he and Cammie and Baby Collins have been in my basement since Sunday, so they're hanging out with us. We played basketball till 11 o'clock the other night. And for the record, me and Dylan, one of the guys, took he and Will down. Just for the record, 2-on-2. That is an absolute fact. He wasn't real happy about that. So, yeah, it's like the Olympics at the Swinney house every day right now.
Yeah.
When Renfro's in town, it's always some type of competition, cards, whatever it is, egg toss. There's something going on. But yeah, it's been great to see him, spend some time with him. He spoke to the team actually today. He came to practice Monday, came to practice Wednesday. Said a few words to the guys today. I think he's going down to Disney tomorrow for a couple of days. He's going to come back here Sunday, Monday. I think his quarterback Carr's coming in maybe Sunday to spend a day sequencing. So, yeah, always good to see those guys.
Take 1 more.
Coach, you were talking about that transition to the collegiate level and how tough it can be. How have you seen Klubnik handle that academically, athletically, and how has someone like DJ been able to help him along in terms of teaching him the ropes?
Yeah, it's great. Just like it was great to have Trevor when DJ rolled in here to allow you to kind of breathe a little bit, and it's been the same, And then that's just how he's wired. I mean, you can't give him enough. I mean, he's like a German Shepherd. Just like where'd I go now? Let's go. He's just ready to go all the time. Throw the ball, throw it out there. He's just a very eager guy, and he applies that in everything he does, whether it's school, playing ping pong. Dining hall, he's just in meetings. I mean, he's a very engaged kid, super talented, but very, very engaged. And he just has an unbelievable foundation to him. He's just like DJ. I mean, DJ came from Moscow. I mean, they guys, kids like that. They've had these high expectations for so long, big stages, and it's a little easier transition for those type guys than maybe some others.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.